All right, it's 8 o'clock and I'm going live. Can you hear me, Wolfman? Anybody out there hear me? Testing my microphone. Okay, so people can hear me. Trying to just make sure because this is the first time. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, this is the first time going live. So, yeah, this will be definitely fun. And Snipes is in the Discord chat. What's up, Snipes? It has been forever. Yes, it has, and yes, that is you. That is the original Blackwater Marsh picture. So, way different than what we're doing today. But well, I gotta need to start updating that stuff. But yes, what a throwback, and I think it's somewhat appropriate that we do have, that our very first field as the picture for the third field, and this will be the last field because I am not doing this again. um, for those of you that do not know who we are, I guess we could go ahead and go into that. We are Blackwater Marsh Airsoft. We've been around for 10 plus years, probably 2012 or 2013, somewhere in that area, was our first opening of our field that was out in Stanton, and that is what the picture of the thumbnail is from a Stanton field that we had many years ago. After the Stanton field, we moved into going into Drummond's, and we had that field in Drummond's for about 6 years. We closed in 2019, and if you saw the commercial that we did, the 2019, that was when we closed. We had said that we were going to be reopening a field very soon, and that very soon turned into many years, a long time. But there we've been doing. We haven't been just sitting around. We've been actually working really hard to get this up and going because we bought the land. We built a pole barn on it, and we put from an old farm field to having water, power, bathrooms, HVAC, all kinds of other fun stuff. So, yeah, that's taken way longer than I ever thought, but we are almost back. And we got about a week and a half left, and I am super excited and super nervous. So, I think that's pretty much good for the intro. Going into any questions we have, I guess I will go ahead and start with one of the questions that was asked much earlier in the chat, and that was by Moto, and from our Discord. And they were talking about tournament locks for HPA, and the answer is yes. Not only yes, we have to have tournament locks for HPA, but you are required to bring your own. So if you do not have an appropriate tournament lock, we might have a few for sale. We definitely won't have them for sale on opening day, but definitely make sure that you have a tournament lock that's appropriate and something that was supplied by an airsoft company or something that will keep you from meddling with it, that we can zip tie or something to that nature. If you find something that's like 3D printed or something to that nature, we'll accept that, but it has to be like secure. We don't want to. You can't put a sock over it and then zip tie. We can't zip tie a sock and call that tournament lock. So yeah, so it needs to be something official that we can zip tie or secure in a method that we deem appropriate. But if you do bring a HPA gun without a tournament lock, you will not be allowed to play with that gun. At least if you bring another gun or you bring something else, then that's completely all right. So that kind of answers the first one. Does anybody have any other questions? Anybody, any questions about the field? Any questions about us? I don't know who all's here. I don't know if we have any new players, or maybe I know we've got a lot of people in the Discord over the past couple months. We went out to ACS from Noob Day. Anybody from Noob Day here, from this year's Noob Day? No. Okay. Well, thought I'd ask. Am I going to plant trees on the field? That's a good question. Can we pay at the door? Okay, so we got two good questions. Two excellent questions. I'll answer the trees first. There are a bit of trees on the. Oh yeah, of course, Wolfman was there for Noob Day. That is right, and that is where I met you. I should have remembered that, of course. But for as trees go, we do have some areas of the field that I am clearing out, that will be used inside of the tree line. But for the most part, we're going to try to leave it as open as possible. I have a passion against trees, at least in airsoft fields, because it never fails that whenever you build something really cool, a storm comes by, knocks down a tree, and then destroys it. So I like having not a whole lot of trees. I know that isn't the best thing for summertime, especially with with the weather getting hot. So our solution to that is not to have trees per se, but to make sure that we do some sort of burlap, or like I'm not thinking of the word, but corrugated, like tarp, something with holes in it, mesh tarp, that will go over the buildings and give some shade. So that way you're not completely out in the open all the time. The next question was can we pay at the door? And yes, you can pay at the door. The only the one good thing about paying online is that we do give you an option to buy a smoke grenade and a regular grenade. And that will guarantee that you'll at least get those at the door. I cannot guarantee how much. I mean, we have a decent amount, but I can't guarantee you those items unless you purchase it online. But if you just want to purchase it at the door, that is perfectly all right as well. Let's see. Let me catch back up with the chat. Yes, shop is separate from the field. We are about 6 minutes away. We will have plenty of things for the shop or at the field to sell. My main plan is mostly consumables. That's going to be your smoke grenades, your regular grenades, your BBs, your batteries, all of that stuff. Everything that's going to be really consumable is going to be at the field, at the shop, at the outside, at the field, at that location. But if you want to like purchase a gun, or you want to do something to that, or you want to get like a scope or something to that nature, we will have the shop open, and it's about 6 minutes away. I mean, it is a super close drive, so it is not a long drive at all to go check out the shop. And of course, we'll be doing breaks and lunch and everything else, so you can kind of jet off if you want to check it out and you're just driving to the area. All right, let's see. Watching the trailer, asked about achievements. Can you tell us anything about the achievements to be able to earn? Yes. All right, so achievements are going to be all right, let me reset myself. So you can earn achievements. You will not be able to earn achievements grand opening. Grand opening, the one achievement you will be able to earn is the first grand opening patch. So if you see the video of there's a BWM with a first I think it's at the top of all the other patches. That is the one you're going to earn for coming out to the grand opening, and we will not be handing them out again. Past that day, the achievements will be based on certain things. Like one of the things that you saw was there's grenades, and there's like 1, 2, 3. So if you get a grenade kill, you get a patch. If you get one, or with one grenade, you get 3 kills, you get a 3 times patch. So the idea is that grenade kills, pistol kills, back to back stuff. We want to really make it engaging for people to come out and play. We want people to, it's not just, oh, I just want to come out there and shoot some people. And I mean, you can, don't get me wrong, but we want to give something more than just, win the game or, go out and shoot some people. We want, you to feel, like you want to interact and you want to have fun and like interact with the game modes and interact with that stuff. So there are going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of patches around game modes. There's going to be a lot of patches around, like I said, getting kills and stuff like that. We're going to try to keep it away from like kill streaks and stuff like that because we don't want to encourage cheating. But if you do have any ideas for achievements that isn't, like I said, like something that would make someone want to, encourage people to cheat, then we're definitely looking for those because we got about 20 to 30 right now, and we're definitely looking to add some more. And then we've got a bunch of different other ones that could be that are going to be a lot of fun. So I think that's going to be about it. We might have, I'll definitely be talking more about it at the grand opening, but without like having a picture of them out right in front of me, I can't really off the top of my head remember them all. But yes, that's going to be the achievements. The next question is going to be, will there be places to set up outside? Yes, there will be places to set up outside. We have a pretty large area out there. You can set up behind your car. Now, Shadow, I don't know exactly what you mean by set up. Are you saying just put out a 10 by 10 and just have somewhere to hang out? Or are you saying like you're wanting to be a vendor? I guess I need a little bit more definition on what exactly you mean by set up. But there will be a pretty good amount of space. There's a pretty good amount of space in the parking lot. It will be, it's not all, I will say it, of course, if you've seen the intro, it's not all graveled, but it's pretty dry. It's been pretty dry lately, and it's rained a little bit, but even now it's still, as long as it just doesn't monsoon this next week, everybody should be able to park in the grass, no problem. Let's see here. Next one, things will be available for purchase at the field as opposed to the store. Yeah, I think I already kind of covered this, but I know I'm taking quite a while to answer these questions, so this might have been delayed before I covered it. But either way, yes, there will be stuff at the store, at the field, where to sell. So yeah, one of the main things we wanted to do was that if any of you, and I'm sure Snipes remembers, back when we used to play in Drummond's and in Stanton, I had to basically carry everything out to the field because we were renting the property. We were renting both properties, and I sold stuff out of my trunk. So one of the main goals for this field was to have a permanent location that we would have its own stock and have its own stuff for sale. Like I said, it will mostly be focused on consumables though. We might have a few guns out there to sell if someone just gets a wild hair. We might have like 2 or 3, like an expensive one, a cheap one, and maybe like a pistol. But it's not going to be a bunch of guns. Like, we're not going to have the amount of guns we have at the store. Let's see, guys also have patches available. We will have some patches available. They are for sale right now. You can either get the regular patch, which is just the embroidered patch. You can buy that right now if you order your ticket online, or you can buy it at the store. We are also doing the VIP program, which the VIP program is a little different. If you saw inside of that the video, the VIP group program is going to be $50 a year. It's going to be, you get, when you purchase your first time purchasing it, you will get that patch at the Blackwater Marsh patch. Then every time you play, for every 25 times you play, you rank up. You will get another stripe. And then every 10 times you play, you will get a care package. And so that's what I was alluding to, is that you will be getting rewards. So the more you play, the more you come out, the more you'll rank up. And the higher rank you are will depend on your care package. So the more higher rank you are, the better care package you'll get. I highly recommend. It's going to be a really good deal. We're going to do, at bare minimum, every 10 times you play, you're going to get a free field pass. So if you play more than 20 times a year, you will pay off the VIP program and then some on top of the care packages. All right. Let's see here. Patches available. Yep. Juggernaut takedown patch. There are already melee execution achievements, although, like I said, we aren't going to be doing the full achievements on grand opening, but that is a good achievement to think about the next time we do a Juggernaut game, is do a Juggernaut down patch. Won't be for this grand opening, but that is a good idea. Let's see. Will we be open this Saturday? Yes, we are open every Saturday. Unless there's just some kind of crazy monsoon or something, we are open Wednesday through Sunday. So Wednesday and Thursday, we are open noon to 8 p.m. Friday, we're open from noon to 10 p.m. Saturday, we're open from noon to 10 p.m. And Sunday, we're open 1 to 10 p.m. That does bring me into our hours. Our hours are probably going to be a little bit modified when we do open the field. The field will start weekend play after the grand opening, the week after. And so we're planning on doing that from 10 to 5. But that is kind of the idea right now. But yes, the store is open every Saturday, like I said, unless there's just some kind of crazy monsoon or snow or something to that nature. And even then, sometimes we're open. Let's see. Shooting range competition challenge based on time and accuracy. That is something I really want to do, is a shooting range. That is kind of one of my goals. It's in this field, probably in the next couple of years, is to create a giant shoot house. I really want to get it to where there is a big area where you have to constantly go room to room, and you have to be kind of going all around, and and then we can do actual game days where it's just about timing and shooting. It's not about playing as well. So that is definitely one of my goals, is to have a big shoot house that we can do like a timed, you move through it and have to, your accuracy and everything to that nature. But that's a great question. So we will not, the field, let me just clarify real quick. The field is not open. The store is open, and our store is open every Saturday. We will not be playing regular airsoft until the week after the grand opening. So that would be, let's see, what is that? The 11th. So that'll probably be either the 11th will be October 11th will be when we start doing regular weekend play. All right, I think I'm all caught up. I see my wife's in the chat. Hello, wife. Any other questions? Looks like we got 10 viewers. Man, we're popular. I expected to have like two or three at most. I thought I was just going to be sitting around and like everybody was going to be just waiting for people to join. I already got 10 people. That's pretty crazy. Glad everybody can make it out. While we're talking about that, I do want to do this again. Most likely next Wednesday. We'll probably do another one. Getting close. We might even do it twice or three times next week. I'm not 100%. Just depends on how my schedule plays out. We still are doing quite a bit of work on the field. As you kind of saw, we were going through, as I had the blinking field still in progress, or field still, in construction, or whatever I had. Anyways, so what we're planning on doing for the field hours is probably 10 to 5. That's what I'm thinking. We haven't like 100%. And yes, we will have an for HPA fill up. Yes, we will have that as well. 4-hour drive for me. Ooh, man, that is a minute. That is awesome that you're going to make it that far. Shadow, that is, we really appreciate you coming that far. 4 hours, man, that's going to be a trip, but I hope you enjoy it, because we've been working on this for a long time. This has been a long time coming. Like I said, this has been basically probably about 5 years in the making now, because I think we bought the property maybe a year after we shut down. It was a year to 2 years after we shut down, because it was pretty close after we shut down that we ended up finally buying the property. But it just took us so long to build the pole barn and get all the stuff put in there and get all of that situated. It also doesn't help that I changed careers during that time, so that's a whole other story. We won't get into that, but yeah, there's a lot has happened over this 5-6 years. And yes, we will have, and like I said, we will have fill tanks. And kind of as I was mentioning before, to digress, we are still working on the field. There is I wouldn't say there's a lot left to do, but there are definitely a few things that I want to get done before we get opening. So there are still I'm going to be out there most days this week and next week, working on getting some final touches put on the field. But yeah, 4 hours. That is awesome that you're gonna be driving that far. We talked about build day opening yet on stream, so we have not talked about build day. So build day is going to be, we're going to have one more build day. If you can make it, I would definitely request you do, because we're going to make it as big as possible. We're going to have one more build day on Saturday. We usually start about 8 a.m. We go till about, right now, as long as it's not boiling hot, we usually go until about 5 o'clock. And we're going to get, there should be about 6 or 7 of us out there at least. So it's going to be a big build day this Saturday. This will be the last build day before the grand opening. So if you can make it out, definitely do so. We are doing a rewards program for anybody that is making it out to the build day. You get a free field pass. Does not count for the grand opening, but anytime after that, any regular field game is free field pass. Is airsoft community pretty big in northern Alabama, southern mid Tennessee? It's up and down, I would say. I've known this area to be as popular as having 50 to 100 active players. So, it's it can get pretty popular. I think, it's been there. There's been, I think, with us opening and us really pushing to help grow the community. I think we can get back up to there. I don't know if it's up to that point right now or not, but I think we can get back up there and even, pass it. Um, is there a weapon limit melee? Is there a size limit on melee weapons? Whenever somebody asks me that, it makes me very what is it called? Not paranoid, but very suspicious of what the person wants to bring. I would say no, but or I would say no, there's no size limit, but within reason. If you're going to bring out something that's like the Berserk sword that's like 3 stories tall, we might have a conversation about that. Or at least 20, 30 feet tall. We might have a conversation about that. But I mean, if you're bringing out like some sort of clay, regular sized Nerf foam claymore or something to that nature, that's not a big deal. But yeah, so I wouldn't, like I said, within reason, no. But yeah, if you plan on bringing out something just absolutely stupid, then we might have a conversation. I would have to really know exactly what you're bringing out. Let's see. Yes. Yep. We've definitely, over when we were open, we definitely grew the hobby as much as possible. I mean, in general, love airsoft. I've been into airsoft for pretty much since I could buy a clear plastic BB gun at Walmart. Not BB gun, airsoft gun at Walmart. And I would try to arrange for people to go out into backyards and stuff and have games and things. So, I mean, yeah, I love airsoft, and I love introducing it to new players, and I want to encourage new players. That's one of the things that I'm really want to focus on is not only getting old players or players that have played, help them have fun and for them to enjoy themselves, but also to have a welcoming environment for new players, because that's very important as well, to have that welcoming, open community versus a closed off kind of elitist community, if that makes sense. That's one thing I do love about airsoft over other sports. Some of the other sports is that the community is much more welcoming, I feel, and everybody just wants to have a good time for the most part. So definitely excited to help players get into the sport. Know where you got it. Yeah, that will definitely have to be custom made. I don't know if I've seen some Berserk swords before, but I mean, that's all cosplay stuff, so it'd be very interesting. Warhammers and barbarian hammers, field legal, foam and LARP level. Yeah, as long as they're foam, as long as they're foam and they don't have I want to say I would say LARP level does probably have a solid core. But I think as long as it's very well foamed to the point to where you can whack someone pretty hard and you can't fall on top of it and stab yourself, there's no pointy ends or anything to that nature, I think that'll be allowed. Your problem with special magazines on pistol, like say drum on KWA, shooting 1 joule or below. Yes, we are not running. We're not allowing drum mags on pistols. That is, drum mags are only allowed to be on LMGs. Let's see. Make it competitive paintball. Ooh, yes, competitive paintball. Ooh. I'm not a big fan of. It's not that I have anything against paintball. It's just there's some communities in paintball I've been turned off by. So I do. We might potentially do paintball at some point. Not even though that wasn't really what you were asking, but that's a kind of a different topic. In case you didn't see it, but repeating a question, sorry if you did see it, heard there was a castle. Will there be a dungeon? D&D players. No, no dungeon. Unfortunately, the water level is not really great for digging deep around here in Tennessee. But the castle is basically, the idea behind it is that we are going to have a perimeter wall. It is much bigger than I kind of just scoped it out in my head, and I thought it'd be cool because we originally started with a 40-foot connex. That's kind of the original. That's the thing that is, and you kind of can see it. Well, so if I move my chair just enough, you can kind of see the connex right behind my head. And so that connex right there is about to be completely walled off. We actually have half the wall completely up, and this weekend we're going to finish the wall. But the idea is that there's a giant wall around that connex, and we are working on a second story to go on top of the connex. But the idea is that it's basically a giant perimeter castle. It will not be to the final level for the grand opening. I would like to also create another wall that's around that, and then also some walkways on the wall to make it a full-fledged castle. But it's still going to be a little bit in progress. But yes, that is what we're calling it, is a castle. But no dungeon. Not yet, at least. Maybe we might figure out something for a dungeon. All right, let's see. I think I'm pretty caught up at the moment. About 30 minutes in, just to give everybody a heads up. I was going to do about an hour, so just see how everybody feels. But yeah, so got about another 30 minutes to go. So happy to take some more questions. With a drawbridge. So one of the things I want to do is there's actually a hill that is pretty close to the castle. And this is forward thinking. This is probably a year at least away. But there is a hill pretty close to the wall of the castle, and especially if we take 8 foot out and put another wall around it. If we do another wall around it, then the idea would be to take from that hill a bridge and make it to where it goes to the second story part of it. So you start on top of the hill, you would walk across a bridge, and then you would already be on the second level of the castle. I think that would be pretty cool. Could we implement a drawbridge? I don't know. It would be fun to make it look like a drawbridge. I don't know if I'd want to make it a drawbridge, because then I could see someone potentially falling off of it because we're trying to go up on it, and that doesn't seem like a fun time. But that would be pretty fun. Let's see. Future plans for additional structures such as bunkers, shoot house, and replicating multiplayer maps. You love playing on the games. So I haven't really done any, we've kind of always just done what works better for airsoft than we've tried to replicate any sort of Call of Duty map or anything like that. I'm very much a build it as I go type person, where we build it and when we look to see what would make sense connecting to it, and how it would play, so that way it's not super overpowered versus super weak, so it's an area you want to play, but it's not so good that everybody and their brother is going to want this area, so we try more to think about the balance of the field than we do trying to replicate any sort of one thing. That being said, the couple things we do have in what I would like to do is, and I kind of talked about this probably right at the first, is we do definitely want to do a shoot house on top of the hill behind the castle, kind of where I was talking about where that drawbridge would be, or the bridge that could be a drawbridge. There is a flat out area on top of the hill, or we can level that area out, and I want to put a giant shoot house on top of it. I would like to be to where basically you have to go inside of it. There are no windows on the outside. You have to go inside of it, and you have to work your way through it to get to the other side. And that's just how it is. And there's no like one of the reasons is that that hill is so prominent in the field that I feel like if we did have windows on the outside, or we made like a sniper's tower or something on it, you would have everybody and their brother just wanting to be up there. So kind of as I was talking about, we want to make it as playable for everybody, and we don't want just one area to be super super overpowered. So we want to make that where the shoot house would be. So basically once you get to the top of the hill, you go into the shoot house, or you go around the shoot house. And you probably don't want to go around the shoot house because then you're just going to be exposed. So we want to really want to make a giant shoot house. The other thing we were talking about is there is a really good, like, if you go back towards so basically, to kind of give you a little bit of description of how everything works, we have our pole barn, and then in the very very back of the property is where we started building. And so the idea is that we're going to start in the back of the property and work towards the front. And in about the middle part of it, there is a good, like, it's like two hills like sitting, and then like it kind of slopes down into this valley right here, but it kind of concaves in on itself as well. And we were thinking about that'd be really cool to do some sort of like World War II trenches or bunkers, or like, some kind of like D-Day type replica. That could be pretty fun. So that was when we were talking about replica stuff. I think that would be probably the closest we would get to that at the moment. Yep. Trenches, future trenches. Yeah, we don't have any trenches. There are some ditches, some of them out of bounds, a couple of them in bounds, but there are ditches in the field, but there is no trenches at the moment. But that is what I would like to try to plan, especially the way the water flows and how everything. I think we could probably make it if we got a good excavator out there and got someone that knew what they were doing. We could probably get it done pretty well to where it drains decently, because that was one of my biggest fears, especially when some of the previous airsoft fields was, it's just didn't drain very well. And this one drains excellent. This was another reason why I really love this field, especially if you've ever played in this area of Tennessee. It's about 90% swamp. There is a lot of swampland out here, and it's not like quite like Florida swamp, but it is swampy. And especially when it comes around to the rainy season, or it comes around to stuff like that, you get standing water everywhere, you get mosquitoes everywhere, and it's not fun. So I'm very, very excited. That's one of the things I really love about this property is that how well it just drains water, and it does not have anything standing on it. Let's see. And could do trenches around and leading to the castle. Use drawbridge as main entrance to the castle. Potentially. We're definitely, like I said, we're working on it. Plans to collab with Sector 9 Airsoft in terms of sharing ideas to improve fields or shared events. Let's see. I'm so excited for next weekend and just seeing where this goes. Yes, I am. Super excited, like I said, super nervous, and I'm not ignoring you, AA Airsoft. So, yes, I would love to do some sort of collaboration with Sector 9. Mike is a great guy, love him. I don't know how much everybody knows about him, and maybe this might be getting a little too personal, but he actually did start at our Drummond's field, and I've known him for a very long time. He's a really cool guy, and I would love to work with him on any sort of like multi-day mil sim type thing. We talked about doing some sort of like you start out at one field and then one day, and then depending on how the teams do on that day, they move to the next field, and then that affects the game. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I would love to do something like that with him. Don't know when it's going to happen. We really are going to probably try to plan on doing about, I think, 3 to 4 special events a year. I don't want to do like a bunch because it takes a lot to put together an event, and it's a lot of stress and a lot of work and a lot of hair pulling. Yeah, you can see how much, hair I have left. But anyways, um, yeah, so probably about 3 to 4 events a year, big events. So like we'll definitely do one around the grand opening. So we'll do like an annual opening year. We will be doing a probably some sort of Halloween event, and then probably like a mill sim in like the spring before it gets hot, like early. So, and then probably one more scattered around there. Uh, Nothing about Mike. Mike is awesome. Mike is a really good guy. He owns Sector 9, and like he is a lot like me, very passionate about airsoft, and really just wants people to have fun. It's more, it's about having fun and growing the sport than it is about a paycheck. Like, I think both me and him work full time on top of doing everything that we do. So I work a full time job on top of doing all, the field and the store. And I'm not talking about a full time job at the store. I'm talking about a separate full time career. So it's a lot of time and effort goes into this because unfortunately hobbies are a very hard thing to make money off of. It just kind of is what it is. It's, I tell everybody, if you're going to get into business, everybody has to eat, everybody has to get their cell phone repaired, or everybody has to do this and that, but they don't have to have an airsoft gun. They don't have to have a pack of cards, when goings get tough. So it's a passion. It's a, what do you call it? A project of love. Yeah. Passion project. Main thing is, honestly, the main thing is that, especially in Tipton County, I grew up around here, and there's not a lot of stuff to do around here. So trying to get stuff in the community for people to do, especially kids, is, I think, really good for the community because there's not a lot around here to do. Let's see. Sounds like Battlefield 1, when a team wins a map, they move on. Lose, it goes back to the other. Let's see. I think I might have missed something. But we will have all kinds of different game modes. I guess I can talk a little bit about some game modes. I'm still kind of battling with them to have them at the grand opening, but we do potentially have, or we will eventually have, and potentially have at grand opening, a capture the flag game that is completely digital. It will be basically where you can scan a RFID key, whether you are the red team or the blue team, and it will start counting the points on that flag. And then it will actually communicate with all the other flags and add all the points together. And this will all be done automatically. I'm hoping we will have that done for grand opening, so we'll see. Either way, that will be coming to our field at some point. Oh, Battlefield comment was towards the Milsims field swap idea with Mike. Yeah, definitely. We did a game mode, and I know what you're talking about with Battlefield, because we did a game mode that was actually based off of that at our old field that I really liked, where it was you started out where you had the defending team, and then you had the attacking team. The attacking team had to push in, and they only had like 10 minutes or something to blow the horn in the attacking team's base. And if they blew the horn in the attacking team's base, then they got an extra 10 or 15 minutes, but then the defending team had to fall back to a different base. And so then it kind of like it kind of jumped, leapfrogged back into the field as the attacking team would progress, if they could progress. So that was a lot of fun. I think I want to say Battlefield Bad Company was the first to do that, um, but I could be wrong. I have not played every single Battlefield game. I believe the area's airsoft has some game management functions, just squad management. Okay, Ares Airsoft app, game management functions. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I definitely want to really. One of my passion projects is microcontrollers and like wiring stuff up and things like that. I do love like the soldering and things like that. So definitely want to bring some really cool custom game modes to our airsoft field. I really want to bring airsoft in the game modes into more of a digital world. I think that's, we have all this technology with guns where we can configure them with Bluetooth and all this other stuff, and we got one that says AWOO. um, you can program it the AWOO gun. Of course that's just a MOSFET, but the point being is we have all this technology around guns, but you just don't see a lot of technology or a lot of innovation around game modes. Even some of like the stuff that's out there, like most of it's created by other people. Like nothing's like pushed by airsoft manufacturers. So it's very strange. I think they're missing out on an opportunity to get fields. But of course, I mean, you know, oh, I can also see where the money's not in it as much, because there's how many fields out there versus how many players. So the money's definitely more so on the players. But definitely want to bring some really cool different game modes and different um, electronics and like that innovation to the field that you don't really see in most fields. Let's see. AMS use it. Games worth it. Okay. There was a company that I knew of. QR codes that you scanned when it was shooting paint. It was. That was pretty cool though. Scanned QR codes. Okay, yeah, I could see that as well. Yeah, you could have like a server or something with like web addresses, and you scan the QR code, and that could like trigger something on the website. One of the other things I really want to try to power like the full field. Right now, of course, we do have power, and but it's not all the way back to the field area. I also want to have like Wi-Fi reach back there. That's another project of mine that I want to do. So eventually I'd like the entire field to be Wi-Fi accessible. So if you do come out, we have pretty good reception where we are. We're out in the boonies, but we're not out in the boonies, if that makes sense. Like we're pretty close to some pretty major cities. So we're not really we're about 10 minutes away from Millington. And of course we're 6 minutes away from Munford. So we've got pretty good cell reception out there. But even if, but I would like it to be where we have like our own interactive stuff inside of the field that, like you said, like QR codes or RFID or something to that nature. But I do like the QR code idea. That's a pretty good idea. Doomsday Paintball and Airsoft does Alpha for all their big events. Ares Alpha for all their big events. Ares Alpha. Okay. We'll have to look into that. How many events are we going to be doing a year? Yeah, I kind of touched on this earlier, but just a recap on it, I'm thinking about like, and I do agree that we don't want to push a lot of events in the year. We're thinking about probably about 3 to 4. We're going to have our yearly annual like big event, whether it be a mill sim or something of that nature. But basically, our anniversary will be a big event. So October. First part of October, we'll probably do a big thing for Halloween as well. We're not going to do it this year just because we just have so much going on top of everything. But next year, I definitely want to do a big Halloween event as well. But then probably 1 or 2 more mill sims somewhere scattered. Probably either the late fall or early spring, we'll have like a mill sim or two. I do also I do want to give a shout out to well, my brain just died, but um, let's see. Kenneth, where did you guys just go? You just went out to I know the event. Let me see. What are they called? Bushwookie. There we go. My brain wasn't dying, but I do want to give out a shout out to Bushwookie. They would be happy to host one of their games as well out at our field. So hopefully they'll be able to do something like that out where we are too. So that'd be pretty cool. Let's see. Let me catch up real quick. Laser tag game. Field gets built. What do you want to do with themed events outside of your standard military theme? Stuff Fallout, homebrew. Yeah, that's kind of as I was talking about, more like Bushwookie. They do stuff like that. We did at our old field. We did a well, I've been talking too much. My brain's just starting to mush. We did a Fallout Mill Sim, and that was a lot of fun. We did a Fallout Mill Sim where we did bottle caps. We had a bunch of bottle caps, and you basically started out with your pistol and no BBs. And you had to either do missions or you had to, I mean, maybe we gave you 6. I can't remember. We gave you, it was, if we did give you anything, it was not very much, but we actually made little baggies of BBs and we would scatter them all over the field. And then you also had to do missions to earn bottle caps so you could buy them, but you could also find them. So that was a lot of fun. That was probably one of my favorite. We also did like a Hunger Games one where people had to like go out and get their own airsoft guns or get like a sword or something, and like people had to fight over that. So that was kind of fun. One thing I don't like about the Hunger Games one, it's a cool concept, but like it's very easy for like, I always feel bad for the people that like get eliminated immediately. It's like, oh, you came out to play airsoft and you get to play airsoft for like 5 minutes and then you're gone. You have to wait for like the next game to start, even if there is a next game. So anyways, but yeah, definitely would love to do some like themed game modes, stuff like that. I mean, there's another thing that I'm really excited to do, especially when we get to Shoot House. There was a Kickstarter a while back. I can't remember the name of the game, but basically it was just like a one night werewolf, but like it's designed for you to walk around. And there was a game mode that was based Mafia. I think it was Mafia was where it was originally based off of. And Mafia, you had to walk around and it was like more people would whisper in your ear, you're dead. But basically, if people don't know what werewolf is, it's basically there's a bunch of villagers and then there's 2 werewolves and you have to figure out who the werewolves are. And then every night they'll kill somebody or something. Kind of like, think of it as it's actually very much what, the space game where everybody's in space suits running around. But anyways, that it was before that game, but that game's kind of based off of it. But and the idea is, and actually I'm looking at the chat, any chance of night games. That's what I was about to lead into was that this game mode would be a lot of fun in a shoot house at night with nobody, with everybody, going around, getting murdered in the dark. So that could be a lot of fun. We will have night games. I don't know when though. That is probably going to come later. Like I said, we're really, my main focus is really been getting this field open. I'll be 100% honest. I have not thought too much about what comes after it other than, we're going to be playing every weekend. I've just been wanting to make sure that this field gets open and that you guys, when you come out to see this field, will enjoy it. It's not just you just come out and be disappointed. We had someone mentioning that they're going to be driving 4 hours, and I certainly would hate to have someone drive 4 hours and not have fun. So that's been our main focus, is getting this field up and running and getting it ready for people to have fun in. After that, we'll just start doing weekly games. We'll be open, and then we'll just move on. One thing I did want to mention real quick while I was thinking about it, and I did give a shout out to Bush Wookiees. Bush Wookiees will be there at the event, so definitely say hi to them. We also have a potential to have Elite Force there. I need to confirm with them if Elite Force will be there or not, but they said there was a good potential that they would be. Of course, they will be sending us stuff for the raffle. We have a bunch of stuff from Elite Force, Lancer Tactical, Enola Gay, couple other, I'm trying to think, there was a couple other people. Novrich sent us some stuff. Novrich sent us some stuff. So there's plenty. We have a bunch of stuff to give out, and there will be a bunch of like I said, there'll be Bush Wookiee there. Elite Force should be there. We'll see. Not 100%, hasn't 100% confirmed on that, but they did say they might. They said they would, as long as they got approval from the uppers. So I haven't heard back from that. Then we've got we should have food on site there as well. So it'll be a good day for that. So you don't have to go anywhere in case you do come out and you want to have food. You don't want to leave to get food. We'll have food out there as well. But let's see. Did I miss any questions? Allowed to talk about certain potential features accessible at admin building during the game. Certain potential features. Oh. Yeah, that's so we definitely that's definitely a future project. But one of the things I really want to do is get the entire field cameraed, and have it streaming. That, whether this happens, this might be another 6 years down the road. I might be coming back and saying, I said this 6 years ago, now we finally did it. But I would like to have the whole field cameraed and streaming. And then one of the other things we were talking about, which would be fun, and kind of funny, would be the ability, you have Twitch where you have bits and stuff like that. And even on here you have, donation stuff, and you can, I don't know if they have a bits equivalent on YouTube. Anyways, I think they do super chats or something, whatever the nature is. I think it's just straight donations on YouTube, but whatever it is, you donate a certain amount and then you can pick to airstrike something, and so you're watching, we talk about a dad up there and they're watching their kid and they're it's oh yeah, airstrike him right there, and pay some bits and airstrike him. It'd be really fun. I don't know if that will ever happen, but that is definitely would be a future really fun thing to do. All right. It looks like Airsoft Media is super excited. That's awesome. And cool. I think the last question was any chance of night games, and that was kind of what I was talking about. Was I do want to do night games. I don't know how many and how often they will happen, but I would definitely like to do night games at some point. All right. Well, we are approaching 9 o'clock, and I've been talking for an hour. Whew. Went by fast, though. I appreciate everybody jumping on. Does anybody have any final questions? Any final questions I can answer? We don't have a hard cut off at 9, but I do feel my throat closing up on me. Empty steel building. Neat option. Be able to be still open during rain or something. Empty steel building. Be a neat... able to still be open during rain. Oh, so what you're talking about is just something that would be you could play underneath, so that you could do some sort of some sort of like indoor, not indoor, but indoor. Yeah, that would be really cool. The problem is that we really got to see if something like that would ever to come about. We would need to have a really big crash in the market for building supplies, because this just this pole barn alone has cost me about 4 to 5 times the amount of money I thought it was going to. So we would definitely need to have some sort of crash in the supplies of building, or we just are, have 100 people every weekend. That'd be amazing. We could get a bunch of money from that, but I don't see that happening. I would love to have it happen, but um, I will be happy with, I'd be happy with averaging like 40 players a weekend. And that's what I mean. And what I mean by averaging is that, we'd probably be open 2 days a week, 20 plus players a day on average, would be amazing. I think that would be I think that would be great, at least to start out with. I would definitely want to grow, would love it to be more, but I'd be really happy if we could just get a good group coming out every Saturday. Would be amazing. Let's see. And Alex, thank you. I appreciate you still being around as well. It has been a crazy journey when I think about back to when we used to play at that old field. It's been a wild 14, almost 15 years now. Let's see. Build it and they will come. Well, that's what we've been doing. We have been building it, and hopefully everyone will come, because we have put our blood, sweat, and tears into this field. I'll tell that. I've definitely bled over it. I've at least felt like crying over it. I don't know if I've ever actually cried over it, but I'll say I at least felt like it. And I have definitely sweated in it. So, this has been a passion project for a long time. We're super excited to have it open. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm almost to my 40s, so age. All right, last chance, final call. Any last questions? And we'll wrap it up for today. Once again, this will not be the last time we do this. We'll probably do it sometime next week. Yep, I look forward to seeing you out as well, Airsoft Media. I definitely look forward to seeing you out. And but yeah, it's talking to Alex. Alex is also Snipes on the Discord. He was actually, before Blackwater Marsh was even a field, we played together. So that is how long we've been playing. That's how long it's been since we've known each other. Like, probably going on. Well, actually, we've known each other probably 15 years. So, but anyways, look forward to seeing you all watching the field grow. Yep. Look forward to seeing everybody. Looks like the questions are wrapping up, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this up once again. I'll probably be doing this again next Wednesday, at least once, maybe twice. But thank you all for jumping on and joining us, asking questions, and being engaging. We really appreciate it. And we're really super excited to see everyone out at the field, because I just cannot wait to see people enjoying what we've been working on for the past 6 years. It has been such a long time coming, and I am super excited to see you all out there. Well, until next week, or until the grand opening, I wish everybody a great night, and yeah, happy airsofting. Have a good one.